Supplier relationships in successful delivery of service management is critical because most organisations now rely on its multi-supplier environment to deliver. You don't deliver in isolation. And in government in particular, and public services, they rely on multiple vendors coming together across that supply chain to support them. And if we don't work collaboratively and effectively, then that customer doesn't get the value that they deserve. We deliver failed and flawed outcomes fundamentally. Being part of a multi-supplier environment for public sector requires us all to work really collaboratively and effectively. And we need structure and process and effective models to do that, particularly when you're looking at something like service integration, because it's such a fundamental part of delivery. And public sector services have huge infrastructure challenges, huge legacy services, digital design and development, complex systems and structures. They have multiple dependencies, multiple handoffs, and we need to, as suppliers, make sure they are as seamless as possible and as frictionless as possible. And if we're not working effectively, then the client isn't getting value for money. And ultimately, that means the taxpayer isn't getting value for money. I think that really resonates with public services. We are responsible for making sure that that value is delivered as effectively as possible. I think it's really important to look at what outcomes you're trying to achieve with service integration, service management. And we can talk about multi-supplier relationships, about dependencies, about vendors, about the client, but ultimately it is about the user of that service. It's about the customer and the person at the end of that, who is going to be receiving the benefits from that. And if upstream we can do work to simplify the processes that we put in place, increase automation, take those nugatory tasks out, then we can put every bit of value into the added value that will deliver that extra for that customer at the end. The person whose lives are changed, and that might be changed because they're getting their product quicker delivered through the post, but it might be changed because they're getting access to support, to health, to welfare that they need to improve their lives. It might be because they can pay their tax bill more quickly and more effectively. The outcome, there are multiple outcomes that are affected, but there are people at the end of this. So whatever we try and do, there are people at the end of this. And I think we need to come together under a common vision and a set of values and really think about, it's always important to put that user at the centre of everything that you do. When we look at a multi-supplier model of delivery, this is about individuals coming together to work on a common problem, on a shared vision, and on a very clear outcome. And they can be across a number of roles and have multiple responsibilities. And they're there to try and make sure that that service is delivered as effectively as possible. But what is that service? And that's something we need to really hold true to. Who is the person that we're trying to help at the end of this? And we often forget that. Who's the person who's now being able to go online and make a medical appointment because we've deployed and developed a system and they don't have to contact a GP? More importantly, who can access prescriptions, who can find out about whether they're entitled to financial support, who can get access to services, who are vulnerable, who deserve our support. SIAM is important to all of us within that supply chain, but it's important because of the people we are trying to help at the end of all of this work that we do. And this is about delivering better outcomes for those people who are going to use the service.